In this lesson, we're going to attach those animations to the matching key press. So if I press right, we play the right animation, and if I press a left, we play the left animation. Now before I do that, this little animated character here is quite small. So I go to my level, you can see the little character here. So I'm going to resize him. I'm going to go to my player node here, go to my scale. I'm going to change that to maybe 1.5 by 1.5. I go ahead and save that. Go to my level, have a quick check. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Okay, back to my player, and I'm going to switch on the collision shape, which is obviously too big. And I think I might change the type of collision as well. So let's go to collision shape 2D. Over on the right hand side, it's set as a rectangle. Let's change that to maybe a capsule. And a capsule tends to be better for players. So that seems reasonable. I'll just increase the size a little bit and bring it down there. So that seems to be a reasonable fit for our character. Okay, next thing I want to do then is go to the player code. And in here, I want to have the code that will play the relevant animation for when I press right, left, up, or down. Now to do that, I need to grab this animated sprite. So I need a reference to that. So let's create a variable for that. So var, and we'll call this animation, and we'll put that equal to, and because we're referencing something in here underneath this player node, we can use the dollar. So dollar sprite. Now we will get an error here, and the reason we're getting an error, it says down here, it says use onReady var animation instead. So we need to say, well, when this player is being loaded, we need to wait until this animation is ready before we use it. So we just say onReady var. So I can now use this reference animation in my script down here. Okay, so what I want to do is say animation dot play. What am I going to play? I'm going to play the right animation. Same thing for when I'm going left. I'll copy that and pop that in here, except this time I'm going to play left. And then down here, we'll paste it in here and paste another one in here. This one obviously is to play the down animation, and this one here is to play the up animation. Okay, well, let's have a look at that. Let's play. A game will pop up. And when I press my up key, I get the up animation. I press right, get the right, left, I'm getting left, and down, I'm getting down. Now you might have noticed that he's still walking, not moving, but the animation is still playing. So when I release the key, I need to stop the animation. Now to keep things really simple here, all I'm going to do is to create an idle animation, and just one single animation for idle, which is just going to be facing to the right. So let's go back to the sprite, the animated sprite, and we're going to create a new animation. I'll call this one idle. And in my idle animation, I'll grab old George here. He's just going to be facing right. So that single frame there is going to represent him when he is idle. Obviously, in terms of speed, we can have 0 frames a second. And he's not going to loop. It's just going to be this one single frame. Okay, well, back to the code then. So in the code, I've got if the right key is pressed, then do this. If it's this, do this, etc., etc. I'm going to change these a little bit. I'm going to say, well, if the right key is pressed, do this. Else if, which is elif. The left is do this. And again, elif. So else if, and an elif here. And then what I can do down here is just say else. What do I want to do? Well, I want to play animation dot play, and I want to play the idle animation. So what I'm saying here is if this key is pressed, do the right things. Else if the left key is pressed, do this. And then we've got the down and the up. Otherwise, I just want you to play the idle animation. Let's have a look at that. We'll play. and we'll walk up. And as soon as I let go, he goes to the right idle animation. I can move right, I can move left, let go, and he goes to the right idle animation. Now, if you want to play around and do a left idle animation, an up and a down, then feel free to do that. I just want to keep the code extremely simple for the time being, and we can look at this in a later lesson.